I just got a very cold feeling on my hand.
Is there a little girl with us in this room right now?
What?
I literally just saw the bottom torso of a man. Built by the Bethlehem Steel Company in 1945, the USS Salem is a Des Moines-class heavy cruiser that held up to 1,800 enlisted on board. The ship was ordered during the height of World War II, but after the capitulation of Nazi Germany in 1945, it was determined that the Salem would not see battle in the Pacific or North Atlantic theaters. She is the only remaining heavy cruiser in existence. In the early 50s, the Salem was shipped off to the Mediterranean, becoming the flagship of the Sixth Fleet. Most notably, however, was the Salem's use as an emergency relief vessel during the 1953 Ionian earthquakes. At approximately 11:30, a 6.8 magnitude earthquake struck south of the island of Kefalonia. This earthquake drastically affected the local population. In an extreme case, the city of Zakynthos was decimated. After the dust had settled, only 2 buildings remained standing. The Salem was the first American ship to arrive at the scene, loaded with food, medicine, and other relief supplies. The crew proceeded to assist the locals. The Salem remained docked over the following days, treating people with serious injuries within this very ship. Over 15 births occurred during this 3-day period. And it's fair to say that during this relatively short period of time, a myriad of complex emotions permeated into these walls. And some say, when an emotion is extremely powerful, it can leave a permanent imprint on a location. And that is what we are here today to find out. My name is Tyler, and I am extremely excited for you to embark on this amazing adventure with us, as the haunted halls take on Salem's very own Sea Witch.
We all left Maine around 2:30 p.m. on the day of our hunt and arrived around 5:30 to park and wait for the tour. While we waited, we marveled at the gigantic vessel that sat before us. The cold ocean chill covered us quickly, and the smell of the sea lingered. We boarded the ship at almost exactly 6 p.m. and met with Dawn. We soon set about going down into the tight maze that was the ship's layout, and we were met with the gray walls and musty smells of down below. Once we were down below, it was hard to remember you were in fact in a ship. It felt like a completely different world. After signing a few waivers and unloading our items, we began to tour. To spare you all the tales, in case you ever find yourself wanting to see this relic in person, we will begin the retelling of our night. After the lights went out, we all split up. The first thing I felt I needed to do was to go look into the dentist room. Dawn had told us previously that as of late, there seems to have been something in that room, something dark and controlling of all the other spirits. I flashed a few photos, and while I did not catch anything on my camera, the unmistakable feeling of dread crawled up my spine and settled into my chest. I quickly found myself backing away to find the others. Soon, the 5 of us, Tyler, Josh, Tiana, Jack, and I, began to make our way down the tight passageways. We would stop now and again, always hearing something from an adjacent room or seeing a shadow out of the corner of our eyes. Our first stop was the mess hall where the ranked officers ate. We sat down in the pitch black and turned off all of our cameras and flashlights. We used our S-box and tried to contact one of the members of the ship, who we were told would often walk by the door to the room. While we sat there, many of us got disoriented and dizzy looking at the doorway, looking for any sort of movement. The hallway was lit red from a nearby light, and staring straight out into it looked like you were looking into the beyond. We quickly felt the need to leave, and before we could see the man walk by, we left.
After our journey into the officers' quarters, we decided to venture into the 3rd mess hall, which is notorious for its activity. Don, who led our tour, provided insight into the various spirits who call this ship home, especially one who goes by the Chief. Don believes that the Chief worked in the kitchens for a period of time, and it seems the Chief is still drawing a crowd into this mess hall. People have reported whispering of soldiers, loud bangs, and drips from the nearby dishwashing area. The drips may not seem out of the ordinary while near active sinks. However, Don let us know that this section of the ship hasn't had running water in decades. I keep hearing a drip over there. I'm not talking to the ghost. I keep hearing a drip over there. I'm going to walk over there.
If there's anyone in there, can you please just make a noise or even a noise of any sort?
What the fuck was that?
Would you like to show me something? I would love to see it.
I just heard things coming through our box. Did you not like when Tyler was over there? Is that where you like to stay and no one else can go? I don't know if you would rather have us tell you our names so you can feel more comfortable talking to us. If so, please answer because we can all tell you our names.
Little girl?
Is there a little girl with us in this room right now?
Are you hungry?
After some more unexplained noises, we then made our way back to the dentist room, the room from which I ran away from earlier. We decided to try out our new sensory deprivation equipment, and who else better to try it on first than on Jack?
Get some lights.
What headphones are they putting on?
Well, he's just going sensory deprivation, so he can't see and he can't hear.
Why don't we use this thing and then plug in headphones
We can
so
do
we
that.
can hear it?
Do you want to
Well,
go grab headphones? Go grab them quickly?
I just want
Well,
to see.
If I hear something, I'm gonna say it out loud.
Yes, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So like,
We have also heard that this might not be a dentist who is in this room.
There's a drip from the sink, and I'm not sure the sink is on.
I have a right on my right side. There's something trying to make a noise in my ear.
Who are you? Have you ever worked on this boat before?
Yes.
Were you a dentist?
No.
What was your purpose?
How many people are in this room?
2.
Shut up.
At this moment, whatever had been talking through Jack gave us an answer that, as you can tell, shocked us. Partway through recording, Josh, Tiana, and I had left into the second dentist room. Although these two rooms are connected, we had decided to count them as separate rooms. I had told Josh and Tiana, let's leave this room to see if they can tell how many are actually still here, not knowing we would get an actual answer. Jack had been blindfolded since we had moved, and we made virtually no noise. Someone had seen us move, and whatever it was wanted us to know that they were watching. There's literally only 2 people in this room.
Alright, I gotta take a break from that.
Meanwhile, Steve and Sue were conducting their own investigations. After convening in the officer's lounge, Sue stayed to monitor any activity, while Steve wandered around the ship with the IR camera. Now, this IR camera and companion flashlight project infrared light, which could only be seen through the camera. Meanwhile, while Steve was walking around, he was in complete darkness. And while walking on his own, not only did he recount feelings of existential terror and dread, he also heard more tangible footsteps and whispers. Sue and Steve then proceeded into the third mess, where they sat on opposite sides of the room, listening for the faintest noises. This would continue right up until Yvonne, Josh, Jack, Tiana, and I caught some of the most compelling evidence of the night. Right after our group left the dentist office, we decided to turn the lights out in the first mess hall, which was our base of operations for the night. Josh then headed a spirit box session, but it did not yield any fruitful evidence. We had strategically placed 2 cat balls on the ultra-flat metal dining tables, We began walking around and shaking these tables from varying distances to test how sensitive the motion detectors in the cat balls were. Only a bang directly next to the cat balls yielded any sort of response. After a few minutes of deliberating on what we should do next, Yvonne decided that she would like to go into sensory deprivation, right in the mess hall. Now, for those who watched our mill video, it became apparent to us that spirits are able to siphon off increased energy from both Jack and Yvonne. As soon as Yvonne snapped the noise canceling headphones on, we began capturing activity.
Can you make the light go off on the other table? Right where Dawn is?
Not that one. The other one.
I moved because I thought you might follow me. Do you want to light up the cat ball closest to me? You know what they are.
It would be amazing if you could light up both at the same time.
It was at this point we had decided to take Yvonne and walk her over to the other table. Even though Don had said, in his experience, they only pick one cat ball to light up, and that's it, we were wondering if being closer to Yvonne was the actual cause.
I heard S, like part of yes. Is that what you were trying to say? Light up one of these balls if that's correct. So when I just asked it, I heard the same thing.
After that spooky encounter, we met back up with Steve and Sue. As both of our teams had experienced activity in the third mess, we decided to return and enter sensory deprivation. Steve was the first one up. We decided to place him directly where both of our teams were hearing strange noises, the old dishwashing unit. Are you able to speak through my father over there?
We're not here to harm. We just want to talk to you. Dawn said you love talking to people.
Can you tell Steve your name?
Can you tell Steve anything?
Was that you in the other room playing with the ball? With us earlier? If so, say yes. I'm here.
Where are you?
What are you doing here?
I'm here. They said I'm here.
Yeah.
Do you not want to talk to us? You hear that? That's what we've been hearing.
That's what we were hearing.
That could be heat.
I just heard something walk. Like a few times.
Was that you?
You making noises?
Is this the chief?
I can't.
You can't what?
Do you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk to us?
What year is it?
Do you
Run.
What? Run.
I just heard something shuffle behind me when she said run. Did you hear that, Dad?
What are you running from? Are you running from the chief?
That's it.
Do you want us to leave?
So cold right now.
Do you want us to leave this room?
Who did you want to run?
Are you touching me? No.
Oh, maybe is that why she keeps touching her head?
How many spirits are in this room?
I'm here.
Didn't someone say I'm here earlier? Dad did.
That's the only thing I heard.
Who is here?
God, I'm freezing on my back.
He's trying to talk to us.
Yeah, this is really cold.
Do you want to try and move that kitty toy for us?
Turn it off.
What do you
Okay.
want off? Okay, we'll respect your wishes.
Sue, we'll turn it off.
Sue.
She can't hear you. Don't touch her.
She is. We will leave. We're sorry if we upset you in any way.
We're all done.
After whoever or whatever had been speaking with us told us to turn it off, we immediately respected its wishes and packed up our equipment. It felt like a sigh of relief after we left the mess room. Whoever was in there with us, whether it be the chief, the little girl we heard, or whatever else, it was tired of us being in their room. We made our way back to base to grab some extra equipment, and then made our final trip, the birthing rooms. Now, as Don taught us on the ship's tour, these were called the birthing rooms, B-E-R-T-H-I-N-G, not like how it sounds. This is an area where the crew would sleep, and down below was littered with hundreds of cots. Just like the rest of the ship, this level felt like a maze, but this time, seeing all the copies of cots, it really did feel like you were trapped in an endless loop. We finally settled down in an area and pulled out our equipment for one last chance of activity.
Person we were talking to in the mess hall.
Yes. Same as
Same one.
same one.
So what was something that really stood out to you today, Josh?
So we were out in the third dining hall, and Sue was sitting down with a blindfold on, and the spirit said through the spirit box that we should leave. So that was the scariest part, but my favorite part was when we were down in that bunker thingy where they slept, and then the ball moved right in front of you. Pretty good evidence.
So Jack, what has been something that's really stood out during the night?
When I was in the dentist and I had the blindfold on and the earphones and then the ear protectors, and I couldn't hear anything or see anything, and I hadn't realized that two people had left the room, and then when someone asked how many people are in the room, it said two. I thought they were talking about two doctors, but they were talking about two people because two other people had left.
Yeah, it was just me and you in that room. What do you think was the most compelling thing that you've seen today?
Honestly, when we were in this mess hall, I don't remember what one it was, and we saw the two cat toys light up back and forth.
You look very tired.
I just am very tired.
What do you think was the most compelling thing that you've seen today?
Scene?
Or heard,
yeah.
experienced?
I would have to say anytime I put on the blindfold and the spirit box and the muffling headphones, and the cat toys would move, and a few times, especially in the mess hall with the chief, he seemed, or whoever that was in there, was making noise from the cutlery. What was it?
That little cutlery area.
There was just dripping of water, and Don even said he wasn't even sure if the water worked over there, so who knows what that could have been.
After around 7 hours below deck, we finally emerged from the ship's underbelly, tasting the fresh sea air blowing in from the harbor. The USS Salem not only met every single expectation that I had, but took them beyond what I believed to be possible. This ship, so steeped in history, was a vessel frozen in time. Almost every interaction we had was positive, and our third mess hall activity sounded more like annoyance than malice. After deliberating with Don after we disembarked, we reflected on the fact that, as a veteran of the Navy himself, some of these soldiers did not come from the best backgrounds. They would have seen the USS Salem as the best time of their lives, and some, it seems, have chosen to remain here after death. I thank Don and his crew for allowing us access and the private investigation. I cannot even begin the list of reasons why you should go, but I can promise you we will return. Thank you, happy Halloween, and have a good night. Yep. Okay, I'm gonna leave Sue in here, and I am gonna go out here. Ow. Chair again. It's still there.